That's the sound of Big 12 heads exploding.
They did it last year too, right?
Well, they did it last year, and that's what happened last night when the College Football Selection Committee released their first set of playoff rankings for this season. The Big 12 got caught on the outside looking in last season, and coming into this set of rankings with 3 unbeaten teams, guess what? They're on the outside again.
No TCU, no Baylor, and nobody's talking about Oklahoma State either.
Big 12 got closed out because they don't pass the eye test, according to the committee.
Well, neither does Michigan State, apparently, either. That's another undefeated ball club. And, the fact that I shouldn't say ball club, it's another undefeated school. But look how far down they are in the rankings.
And they do love themselves some Alabama. They like the SEC. They love Alabama. And it showed again. Somehow Alabama, with one loss, cracked their way into that very important top 4.
Yeah, do you agree with that, by the way?
I can't possibly agree with that right now. I mean, think about it. Alabama's got one loss. Now, they look okay. They passed the eye test. I get it. But they lost to Ole Miss. Now, the Florida Gators, nobody's talking about them as a top 4 team.
They're in 10 right now.
They're number 10 right now. I wouldn't put them in the top 4, but wait a minute. The Gators have one loss. They lost to LSU, a team that is in the top 4 right now.
And undefeated.
A team that is unbeaten, and the Gators rolled Ole Miss. So if you're going to put Alabama in the top 4, how are the Gators not in the top 4? It's that subjectivity thing, that eye test thing that the committee did last year, and the committee proved it. They really don't like Big 12 football. This whole 69-50 thing doesn't sit well with them, and because the Big 12's out-of-conference schedule doesn't put them up against SEC teams.
And some people would say the conference in general is down this year as well. I mean, you need teams like West Virginia. They've been good in the past, not looking so great this year. Again, nobody's talking about Oklahoma State either. Kansas State a couple years ago was doing a lot better than the way they're doing now.
There's a lot of football to come, and the thing you have to keep in mind is when all of this started last season, Ohio State, your eventual national champions, were ranked 16th in the first poll, and they worked their way up, knocking off their competition, winning their conference championship. A lot of this stuff will start to get sorted out this week because you've got a game coming up that's going to pit LSU against Alabama. That's going to figure out a whole bunch of things.
And TCU at Baylor this weekend, too, or TCU versus Baylor this weekend.
You've got Oklahoma State in a big game this weekend. So some of this stuff's going to start to sort itself out. And some of the best games for the Big 12 teams are going to be against each other. And those games are coming up over the next couple of weeks.
And that's when their strength of schedule increases collectively because you have those pivotal games at the very end there with some of your top teams.
But I got to tell you, it's going to be awfully hard for the Big 12 to crack the equation when you look at these rankings, because even if Alabama doesn't make it out, even if they fall down in the SEC, there's a Notre Dame team right behind Alabama that's had a great schedule.
Although that was a close one against Temple.
It's a close one against Temple, but Temple was a ranked team. They won it. Notre Dame's only loss so far is to Clemson. They still have a very difficult matchup coming up with Stanford. Notre Dame plays out as a one-loss team. You're going to see them in that Final Four.
And there's some more pivotal games coming up as well in the Big Ten. November 21st, Michigan State versus Ohio State. November 28th, Ohio State versus Michigan. Not to mention, you've got a Big Ten championship coming up. You've also got an SEC championship game coming up. So a lot of these things are going to be sorted out eventually.
But the Big 12 may just get caught once again on the outside looking in.